Hello, Justin here. A lot of people on the website forum had mentioned that they had trouble with getting their fingers flexible. So I'm going to show you this little exercise that I used to do. I think it's quite beneficial. Remember, with all flexibility exercises you have to feel it stretching. So I'm going to do it quite far up the neck to start off with, show you what the exercise is, and then you're going to gradually move it down the fingerboard, because as you probably noticed, the frets get wider the further you go down. So the more flexible you become, the more you need to push it. Make sure you feel like your fingers are getting stretched when you're doing this exercise. That's really important. If you don't feel a flexibility or a tension in your fingers, then you're probably not working it hard enough, so you need to shift it down. That's the first thing. Second thing, I do have the shortest little finger in known history. You can see it's just really stumpy, so I'm not really very good at stretching very far, as you'll probably see as I'm demonstrating this exercise. Again, that doesn't make any difference for me as a guitar player. My fingers are quite flexible still, just one of them's a bit short. So how are we going to start this? So we're going to do this up at the 8th fret, and what you would do is you're going to put your fingers, one finger per fret. So your first finger will be in the 8th fret, second finger in the 9th fret, third finger in the 10th fret, and little finger in the 11th fret. And you're trying to make sure that your fingers are quite square on all of the time to the frets, and that this bottom part of your hand is parallel with the neck. Don't be trying to do it like this with this part of your palm facing a funny way. It needs to be quite flat. So you'd start off with here, just to warm up, just playing all of 4 notes on every string, all of the way up. When you go back down the scale, well, it's not really a scale, the pattern, you make sure that you go up each string though, because it's quite important. I'll show you now. So we just start with this. Just playing it straight up, nice and easy. Okay, now when you're going back up, physically up, it's always difficult on guitar. Up is kind of higher strings, or up physically, you never know. Okay, when you're going this way, you'd go up each string still, so. Making sure that you realise this exercise is not about speed, so doing it fast is not the point. In fact, doing it slow is better. So you can do that comfortably, and you go, well, that's not really helping with my stretch, mate. So now it's about to. First thing you try and do is move your first finger backwards 1 fret while leaving the other fingers where they were. So first finger is now in the 7th fret, second finger's in the 9th fret, third finger's in the 10th fret, little finger's in the 11th fret. I'm going to play a little bit faster than you should now, just in order to get through this exercise within my 10 minutes that I'm allotted by the YouTube gods. So this would be... back down, still going up each string, leaving your fingers down after you've played the notes, otherwise there's no point in doing this exercise. So you do that a couple of times, you feel alright with it. Put your first finger back where it was on the 8th fret and move your little finger up 1 fret. So you'd now have your first finger in the 8th fret, second finger in the 9th fret, third finger in the 10th fret, and little finger in the 12th fret. So, and you do the same thing up and down again. So, doesn't feel stretchy enough? Okay, now we split them both apart. So now you've got your first finger down in the 7th fret, second finger in the 9th fret, third finger in the 10th fret, and little finger on the 12th fret. Off you go again. If that's not enough for you, you start gradually moving it further down the fingerboard. Now, like for me to do that exercise here with my first finger in the 3rd fret, that's a big stretch for me. I don't think I'll get it on the thinner strings. main exercise there. That's quite hard work. I feel it in my hand already. A few guys have got work on trying to get the flexibility between the second and third fingers. Now, most of my technique doesn't really fit around that, so I don't tend to practice it. If you do, and that's something that you want to do, if you're doing really complicated like Satriani and Vide kind of songs, then you probably want to work as well on doing this exercise where you would have, excuse me, going back up to our 8th fret position, we drop the first finger back a fret and then put the third finger up a fret and the little finger up a fret. So we'd have first finger in the 7th fret, second finger in the 9th fret, third finger in the 11th fret and little finger in the 13th fret, and try and get that up. Now I'm not sure if I can do this actually, I don't normally practice this exercise. I can just do it. But it's a bit of a struggle to get it on that string. As you can see, that's a pretty big stretch for someone with a stump for a little finger. I'm not talking about my trouser department, thank God. Okay, so that's a really, really good stretching your fingers, getting your fingers worked out kind of exercise. Even if you're a beginner, that can be quite a helpful one if you're struggling with your C chord or your G chord to get your fingers flexible enough. That could be a real cracker. So have a bit of fun with that, and I'll see you soon.